Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Well, I've been absent. I've had a very busy February. So let me get to it. Let me tell you what I've been doing. And this is a February wrap up. So in February, I had a Valentine's Day ball that I attended. That was February 14th. Then we had a commemorative walk honoring a martyr here in Marion by the name of Jimmy Lee Jackson. You know, I'm gonna shine. It's real life. And when Melee broke out, they were marching from the church to the jailhouse, which wasn't a far distance. And we had a commemorative walk. It's 60 years now that this happened. They were protesting voting rights during the civil rights movement. Jimmy Lee Jackson was shot and killed by a state trooper, which actually led to the march from Selma to Montgomery, but it started in Marion. We are now observed as part of that historic trail. So my husband, who is also a lodge brother, he got all of the lodge, the local districts, and all of the lodge members did a march, as you see in this video. And I did the illuminary bags as well as the lights on the steps from the church leading all the way down to the jailhouse. That was a very important ceremony. And then the next day was a Marion to Selma kickoff event.
Please tell us a little bit about your mom and the role that she played in your life and the role that she played in the civil rights movement.
Okay, it's so much to tell. I hope I could tell it all. She was the mother of the year, any given year. She was a person that whatever my dad says, she was in agreement with it. If you wanted to go out or do something which you know it was forbidden, she would say, did you talk to your dad? And you go to your dad, he said, go ask your mom. Well, you knew the answer to that right away. The answer was no. So you just went back in your room or you went back wherever and you left it at that.
My dad was maladjusted. He was a cotton farmer. He owned 101 acres that we lived on, and it was 12 children. At the time of the civil rights movement, 6 of them had graduated from this school and moved on. I was the oldest that was left behind. And like I said, my dad was maladjusted. He always complained because when he would take his cotton to the gin to be ginned and paid for, first of all, if there were a white cotton farmer, my dad had to wait in line to get his cotton baled. Then after they ginned the cotton, he never got the same pay as the white cotton farmer. And he would complain to my mom. And being the person that she was, him being maladjusted, and she had, I call it the Stockholm syndrome, because she made the best of whatever situation she was in. She wanted her husband to be happy, her children to be happy. She had a mammoth job, so she had the Stockholm syndrome. My dad did not, and he was never gonna have it. He complained, and my mom tried to calm him down, but she couldn't. And we went on with life pretty happy normal, because children, you don't know what's out there. We don't know what they were against, but he did.
And it was done very professionally. He was on the campus of Lincoln Normal School, which I have spoke to in some other videos about the history of that. But we had a panel of some foot soldiers who actually was involved in the movement, the civil rights, when they were on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. And one lady was injured. So that was a very interesting format. So that was another event we went to. Then the following day, let's see, that was February 18th. 18th, 19th, and 20th, I believe, is when we had all our events. So the next day, if you saw my short, that was the bike ride. They incorporated this year. It's a bike ride from Marion to Selma, and then they do from Selma to Montgomery. Well, kicked off here in Marion at the Zion Church, the historic church. And it went on. So me and my husband were passing out snacks and waters to the bikers. It was cold that day. I apologize that if you saw my short, I had no makeup on, but I felt the message was more important than how I looked. So, and I got a lot of views. So if you're interested in more history, you can Google Marion, Alabama, seriously, or Jimmy Lee Jackson, I'm sorry. James Orange was jailed. He was an activist. He was jailed. That's what they were marching to the jailhouse for, because they heard he was going to be killed that night. So that's it for how busy my February has been. On top of that, I'm still working on getting my bookstore ready for business, up and running. And I'm down to the floors. I got the ceilings painted, walls painted. I got the bookshelves in there. I just need to get my floor done. All the dust that's in there has now to be cleaned, and eventually I could put my bookstore together. So, in light of all that, let me tell you about what I have read. First of all, I read Country Place, and this is by Petry. And this is a novel that she wrote in 1947. It's a classic. And I read this in unison with Dee Dee from Brown Girl Reading. So if you don't know her channel, go to her channel. She does a wonderful job. Her platform is very good. And we discussed Country Place at the end of the month. It was on the last Saturday of February. So I did finish this, and man, did I enjoy it. It's got mystery. It's got some racism. It's a small town full of gossip. You know, it had some twists and turns. It was very well written, and I look forward to reading more of her work. I have a more detailed review on my Goodreads, library thing, and Storygraph if you're interested. But pick this up. Highly recommend it. Then with my book club, I finished and read All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby. This was very good, a very good read. I read Razorblade Tears by him, and I really enjoyed that. So this was also a very good read for me, and a very good discussion with my book group. If you saw another video, this my book discussion with my book group was facilitated by author herself, Heather Neff. If you are not familiar with her, Google Heather Neff, Neff. And it was well done. Good discussion. I have a very detailed review on my blog. So I have a link down below. Please go to that if you want to know more. I don't have spoilers in it. Nothing that's already on the cover in case you like that element of surprise, which I do. So All the Sinners Bleed. Also, while I was doing my review and talking to my book group, found out that they optioned his next book, King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby, to be a Netflix series. I'm not sure if it's a series or a movie, but the Obamas are part of that, and so I know it's gonna be good. Gonna be good. I think they backed the production. So now, those are my 2 reads for February. I'm finding and I'm comfortable with the fact that I can read 2 books each month. 2 books is really comfortable for me. So that's gonna be my aim. That's gonna be my focus. January, 2 books. February, I've read 2 books. So my 2 books for March will be, once again, The Woman Could Fly. I picked this book out of my TBR jar, and I've been putting off getting to it. I think I started it, stopped. I didn't get very far, so it's not like it was not good or I didn't enjoy it. I just didn't invest the time. So this is going to be completed so I can pick another book for my TBR jar. So I will be reading this. And then my book group, because they have a book every month, they picked Black Woman Will Save the World, an Anthem by April Ryan. So this will be my read for March for discussion with my book group. Looking forward to that. And if you're not familiar with April Ryan, she is a news correspondent. And this should be interesting because Black women need to save the world. Excuse me. Now, those are my reads. Now let's get to books that I have purchased. And I am still buying books. And I have to catch you all up. And so I'm not going to drag this out, but there are 3 books here I want to show you. And I have more, but I'm going to put those in some other videos so that I'm not just showing you books that I bought and just probably won't get to right away. But these books had an interest for me. So we'll start with Grown Woman. This is a novel by Sarai Johnson. I saw another booktuber talk about this book. It sounded very interesting, and I had the opportunity to purchase it. So I did, and I'll tell you what it's about. So this is a debut novel by Miss Johnson, and it is about 4 generations of complex Black women contend with motherhood and daughterhood, generational trauma, and the deeply ingrained tensions and wounds that divide them as they redefine happiness and healing for themselves. So, we're talking about family, trauma, this could actually give you some insight and maybe inspiration into your own family. Every family has issues. Every family. But this won a NAACP Image Award for debut author and a nominee for fiction in 2025. Yes, so looking forward to this. The next book I purchased, Double Lives by Marion Monroe. As you may have seen in any of my other videos, I love reading Marion Monroe, and this is a series. This is her Lexington, Alabama series, and I've only read the first one so far. I still have yet to read the others in her series, but I'm collecting them. So when I finish reading one, I can transition right into the next one. And I don't even know if I want to, tell you what it's about and give away, but let's see. So it says here, this is an award-winning New York Times best-selling author, Marion Monroe. She returns with an outrageous new tale of Depression-era Southern drama starring identical twin sisters with a talent for switching lives and hiding the scandalous results until one risk too many changes the game forever. I'm not even going to go any further because I know this is going to be full of drama. She's a little spicy with her characters. I'm going to love this. So if you haven't read any of her series, check this one out. This is the Lexington, Alabama series. And on Goodreads, this book got a 4.22 rating. So, yeah. Double Lives. And the next book I purchased is When Crack Was King. And this is by Donovan X. Ramsey. A People's History of a Misunderstood Era. And I was inspired to get this book after I read Lonely One by Ketanji Jackson Brown, is it? What do I do with it? Ketanji Brown Jackson. I make sure I get her name right because she deserves that title, okay? And let's see. Briefly, I'll tell you what this is. The title itself. So this book was a nominee for Reader's Favorite History and Biography of 2023. It is a kaleidoscope account of the crack cocaine era and a community's ultimate resilience, told through a cast of characters whose lives illuminate the dramatic rise and fall of the epidemic. The crack epidemic of the 1980s and 90s is arguably the least examined crisis in American history. Whew. So this is going to be an interesting but a definite read for its history. And yeah, because when in Lonely One, it was mentioned that you got more time if it was a crack rock as opposed to the crack powder. And so, that sparked my interest. Why? It's all the same, it's just in a different format. But they said blacks were more likely carrying the rock than the powdered version of crack. So anyway, I got to definitely read that. Maybe I can buddy read or someone will pick it. I don't know. But for my book club, that is. So I'm looking forward to getting into that one day. So I think I'm going to end this video here because I don't want it to be lengthy, but I will come back real soon, I promise, with a more interesting subject. And I'm hoping to one day take you all on a tour of my book shelves. I have a huge backlist of books. Huge backlist. And I'm trying to decide, do I want to let go of some of these books? But it's hard. So anyway, maybe you all could give me some feedback on what I should keep, what is a good read, all of that. So anyway, I'll be talking to you guys real soon, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.